y'all! So today I wanted to do a very, very requested video. Some of you did not request in the most polite of ways, but nevertheless, I'm gonna do the video anyway. And this is about my Rose of Sharon cuttings. So let's just get into it. Can you see this? Do y'all see what's happening in this bottle? Ooh! Those are roots, guys. All right, time for another update. I have some green, and what it looks like is this brown stem that was in the water growing the roots just popped up a new healthy green stem. So what I'm gonna do is pop it off of that dead looking brown one and let it root in. So as I'm sure many of you remember, because again, this was kind of requested multiple times, in the fall, I did take a few cuttings from my Rose of Sharon and I tried to root them 3 different ways. One way was using a clear glass vase. The other was just using a vessel that I could find that was opaque, so light couldn't really get through. And the third way was directly into the soil. And the results are in. My cutting in water did phenomenal. I have about 3 cuttings from the water propagation, and what kind of happened was the cutting that I took and stuck in water sent out green shoots. And so what I did was pop those shoots off, much like I know some people do to root their sweet potatoes. I popped that new growth off, stuck it in the water, and it grew roots. I'm really, really happy about it. I even have some pots to pop them up in today. So next is the opaque container that I used, and I am sad to say that that was not as successful. It could have been user error. I know many of you do really well with water propagation. The clear vase worked better for me. The opaque just kind of got like smushy and died, and it could have been that I should have changed the water more often, but either way, it didn't do great and I was really upset. And the next and final, I guess, experiment was with soil. And I popped a bunch of cuttings into the rooting hormone and then into the espoma potting mix. And out of 6 cuttings, I believe, 1 survived. This, I promise you, was user error because I stuck them at the back of my plant shelf and forgot about them several times. So several times I went over to them and they were bone dry. This is the little plant that could. He was like, no, 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 no. I'm here and living my best life. So yes, I do believe that the soil propagation is again a great way to propagate your plants of all types, Rose of Sharon as well. It's just not the best method for me because I tend to forget about things, get disinterested halfway through winter with watering, and that was user error. So the best thing that I found for me was to go with the clear vase, switch out the water, and it worked great. So to pop them up, I just have been popping them out of the water and right into the pots, making a little wet, like nothing, as you would assume you pot up something. That is how I'm doing it. Nothing special happening here. I wanted to share the outcome of this little science experiment with you. Let me move the camera so you can see a little bit of the roots while I talk. This is the one that started in soil, a little puny. I could probably start fertilizing it as well. And remember, Rose of Sharon go dormant in the winter. So I wasn't really seeing much action in the winter, only some root growth and then, you know, nothing until a few months ago. This is the cutting I literally just popped into soil while I was talking to you from the clear vase. And I'm going to pot up the last one from the clear vase while I give you a small public service announcement. I am so thrilled to be doing videos for you, but I also just request that when asking for updates and free advice, on the interweb. We just remember to use our P's and Q's and be kind to one another. So now I have 3 new Rose of Sharon plants. Now, obviously they're all in a bit different states of growth, but they look just beautiful. They are coming on fine. There are some new sprigs of life right in the center, and I'm really, really excited to watch these grow. So as I was sitting here editing this video, I thought to myself, is this more of a propagation video or a propagation of a propagation video? What I did was wait till the cutting that I took sprouted new green growth and then propagated that in water till it had roots and then like ditched the old cutting. So it's kind of like a brand new plant. Maybe it would have been easier to even do it by seed that way. For those of you that are going to ask if the woody stem would have died or would have grown, the answer I believe is yes. One, because it did have roots before I decided I wanted to start it from the green new growth. The woody stem that I cut did grow roots, which you'll see in the video. And 2, because again, I just transplanted a giant Rose of Sharon with many, many roots into the ground, and it's doing beautifully. So I guess really it depends on what you want. If you want to just kind of start with a bigger plant, or if you don't mind, waiting and kind of shaping it the way that you want. But yeah, I just wanted to clarify that I can see now that I am editing that some of you may have the question, did the woody stem die? It did not die. It did have roots. And I do believe that I could have planted those roots just fine, as you can see by the beautiful Rose of Sharon growing in my garden right now. So with that, see you in my next one. Now, y'all, before I sign off on this Rose of Sharon experiment, I wanted to give you one last Rose of Sharon update, and that is the transplant. So let's go take a look at that before y'all come at me in the comment section for not giving you an update. This is the update. There she is in her full glory, didn't skip a beat, looking really happy, really healthy. That is just a sight. I cannot wait to see this in bloom. So that's all for me, y'all, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.